guys are never going to be happy to lose a game of football, especially one that you could easily argue we could have won. But a lot of positives it felt to take from the level of performance against Livingston, especially compared to the previous 2 weeks before.
Yeah, I think the performance was much better from the lads. We're obviously still going away disappointed. I mean, I feel we should have got something from the game at least, but yeah, we're getting that standard a wee bit higher, so that was much better from us.
Is it difficult to look at those positives in the immediate aftermath of a game where you're all just kind of still feeling the kind of sucker punch from the late goal that we concede, and are you able now, a few days on, to kind of look back with a more kind of analytical eye at what we were doing well and why it was better?
Yeah, I think like you say, initially it is a bit of a sucker punch. You can see, I think I've seen videos of our reaction when that goal goes in. We're all just devastated because we're just looking for that, something that's going to like push our season onwards, get that first, even if it's a point, 3 points, just to get us on up and running again. But now we've had a few days to look back, yeah, we can pick out the positives of it, but yeah, initially it was gutting.
Dunfermline coming to visit us on Saturday. First of all, I guess good to be back at home, and also what are you expecting from our opposition?
I think it'll be a tough match, like any match, but like you say, we're at home, we'll fancy ourselves against anyone, not just Dunfermline, but it's a big match for us, we know that, but we'll be going into it confident.
It felt like we translated a lot of what you guys have been working on during the week in training into the game at Livingston. I suppose the trick is to do that again and make sure that you're going out executing the game plan and playing with the kind of ability that you guys clearly have.
Yeah, we know within the squad we've got the ability, so we'll try and take what the gaffer and Sinky are saying on board, take their game plan and try and execute it the best we can. I think against Livingston we showed that we had that. We had a good press on the go, so we'll see if we can do that again against Dunfermline.
So one of the few teams left we've not had a close-up look at, but they've obviously played their games as well. They've been on the television too. Have you been able to do your analysis on Dunfermline and what we should expect from their danger areas, their weaknesses, what we're trying to exploit?
Yeah, as every team does, they'll have their stronger areas and their weaker areas, so we'll try and exploit their weaker areas. I think they played a Friday night game, so everyone's watching all the Friday night games to try and pick out where they can exploit teams. So yeah, we'll be looking to exploit them in their weaker areas.
And I suppose the visitors will come to us on the back of some difficult results of their own. Do you think that's going to have any bearing on the game, or is it going to be two teams going out there with a point to prove?
I think both teams have got a point to prove. Both teams are desperate to get points on the board. I think it'll just be like any other championship match. Two teams going at it, and hopefully we'll come out with a good result. You
guys, like you said, aren't short on belief in your abilities as a squad and as individual players, but is there a kind of marked difference going into this game confidence wise compared to, say, perhaps after the Morton game?
I think confidence is a big thing in football, and you just want the results to go your way so you can just kind of ride that wave of confidence. So you could say we're low on confidence, but everyone in there knows that we've got more than enough to match anyone in this league, so we'll hopefully get a good result, hopefully 3 points at the weekend, and then we can keep that confidence building throughout the season.
Rhys was telling us about some of the other players in the squad that have been carrying injuries starting to come back. Obviously we were missing Rhys Armstrong through suspension as well. When you see your teammates getting closer and starting to build back into their fitness, does that just give the rest of you guys a boost?
Yeah, it gives us a boost seeing folk close to coming back, almost being back, and then obviously like Rhys coming back. It's good to have as many bodies as possible. We'll be stronger on the pitch, stronger off the bench as well, so it gives us that extra lift as well, yeah.
And having improved on the performance, at least if not the result, I guess you guys are absolutely raring to go and can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah, we can't wait. We just want next game there so we can try and put that right. I know it was better, but we still, at the end of the day, didn't get anything from the game, and we want to be getting as much as we can from every game, so yeah, we'll be raring to go.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Murray.
Thank you.
Rhys, new month, back on home turf for a game against Dunfermline, and I suppose going into it with a bit of a better mood given the level of the performance against Livingston.
I thought for large parts in the Livingston game it was kind of things that we'd replicated and worked on the training pitch. Obviously tough to take considering it's a 91st minute kind of winner, so it's always a wee bit more deflating, but the level of intensity, the kind of information in terms of what we'd ask before the game, bring intensity of the game, a work ethic, and I think every individual done that. And unfortunately, not to lose, can still be a bit more kind of, I say clinical, probably the wrong word, to be a bit more kind of creative, and in the final third to create more. But for large parts, I was pleased with what I saw. Was like we went away and we snuck a goal, or we were under the cosh for large parts. I think for a good part of kind of 45-60 minutes we were in control of that game, and obviously to come away losing the game was frustrating, but I seen enough in the performance to know that going forward that there's loads of things to be kind of optimistic about, and what better way than obviously to go out on Saturday and try and get a win.
I know that obviously we'll have been gutting for the players as well, having put so much into the game, to be hit with that one right at the death. Has it been easy enough to get them back up and focusing on the positives? Because obviously that's going to be a really difficult moment for them, losing that goal.
Aye, but like you can imagine, the boys were down immediately after the game, and probably all the weekend, if I'm honest. But like we said, we come back into the kind of training environment, and the message always from me is the performance over result. And listen, if we play more often than that, like how we did on Saturday against Livingston, if we play more often like that, then more chance of getting positive results. So yes, we're suffering the 91st minute equaliser, 90th minute equaliser, whatever it was, and it's a sore one to take, considering how much the boys put into the game. But like you said, there's loads of things that the boys we can reflect and look at the game, and again, it's a decent strike that wins the game. We limited Livingston to very few kind of moments of quality where they cut us open, so our kind of defensive structure was really, really good, and just tidying up in small details. Hopefully again get another couple of individuals back. Obviously Rhys Armstrong back for suspension, Ben Wilson hopefully back after kind of a small break in his hand, so they're obviously firepower and more ammunition for your squad when you're looking to play with that intensity and kind of way to play, that you've got good additions coming off the bench.
And it's not something, in fact it's something you're at pains to not complain about, because it's part of football. You've said that enough times, but the fact that Livingston could change their entire front line out at the end of the game, and it just wasn't something we're able to do at this moment in time, maybe means that getting those bodies back gives us a wee bit extra.
Of course it will give us extra, but like I say, they don't win the game because they bring on 3 subs. Hindsight's a great thing. Chris Mockery has a chance where the goalie has a good save, and that's potentially the 2-1 advantage that you win with the last kind of 10 minutes to go, or 5-10 minutes to go, and fine margins of football. You're maybe coming away with a positive result, and they still score a goal. You're coming away with a 2-2. It's a positive in terms of you've come away from home under circumstances, a depleted squad in terms of numbers. But that's football, and like I said, fine margins. They go up the other end of the pitch for 25 yards, and Shinnie obviously scores a hell of a strike, and we miss one ever so close at kind of 4 or 5 yards out. The keeper has an instinctive save. So those are the kind of fine lines, and listen, when you're in that kind of rut, everything seems to go against you, and then when you're flying and going well, you get all the kind of rubs of the green. But listen, it's great to obviously get a couple back. It just means that you've got that ammunition, like you say, should you want to change anything, should you want to freshen things up or tweak any kind of tactical stuff, you've got that luxury to do so. So be interested to see obviously getting the boys back and what numbers and stuff we'll have available for the weekend. But listen, whether we had 11 players or whether we've got 20 to choose from, I'll still be confident going into the game Saturday.
Dunfermline haven't had the best of periods lately either. They'll perhaps be, one argument might be suffering lack of confidence, another might be coming here with a point to prove. What's your expectations for what they're going to bring?
Again, like I don't see them coming here and winning 10-0. That's just not how football works, and vice versa. We're probably in a very similar position in terms of where we are confidence wise, kind of how performances have gone. Been unlucky in a couple of results, that we've watched the games and stuff back. Obviously watched the Rhys Rovers game. Rhys been down to kind of 10 men early on, thoroughly deserved the win, and again probably had a wee bit kind of inconsistent, a bit like ourselves, and they'll be looking to try and kind of build a bit of consistency with obviously a good performance and trying to get a result. But like the games are always competitive, and I know kind of Jazz and Dave that from our League One days all the way through, they're competitive regardless of who's on form, who's out of form, and whatever. So I won't read kind of too much into that. I'll fully expect the best Dunfermline team to turn up here and cause us problems, and likewise they'll be fully expecting the best Airdrie team, and we'll see who wins in the day.
You kind of mentioned it there, the games last season and League One days were never boring. They were always eventful, always exciting games, usually kind of decided in moments, usually goals traded each way. So should we be preparing ourselves for another cracker of a match?
I hope so. Like I said, hopefully ourselves we take kind of the performance at Livingston, and like I said, on another day you come away from home, you've scored 2 goals, with Moxie's chance at the end. I think Aaron Reid has one earlier on in the first half. I think Lewis McGregor's marginally offside, need to go to VAR to see that one as well. So loads of positives, you know. On another day you're potentially coming out, you've scored 3 goals away from home. You know, boys have got 90 minutes and more kind of minutes into the legs. Aaron Reid, for example, I think that was his first close to 90 minutes that he'd played, or give or take a minute or so, that he's played since he's been here. So building that fitness enough. So loads of positives in the game. I thought defensively we looked solid, especially in the first half. So if we can take those kind of fundamentals that we had on Saturday, as well as obviously identifying areas that we can improve on, certain bits in the final third of decision making and a wee bit of composure at times, we can improve that, then listen, we're not a million miles away. And listen, I know it seems probably that we are a million miles away at the moment, but listen, football's funny, and I've been there where you just maybe need a wee result or a wee bit of luck to go your way, and it just kick-starts a bit of momentum. But the good thing is we're never a million miles away. In the game on Saturday we got beat, but at the same time you wouldn't have argued either way if we'd have come away with a 2-1 victory or a draw or vice versa. It was that close the game. So listen, we're fully kind of positive mindset. We're raring to go. You know, we've got things in place that we're excited, looking forward to the game Saturday as opposed to dreading another game coming. Really, that's the message all week and will be, is that we continue that kind of positive mind frame. We focus on the performance. We can't control the result, and more often than not we'll get the result if we take care of the performance.
Rhys Armstrong back then from his suspension, Ben back. I guess the hand thing more just as a safety protocol last week. What about the rest of the squad's fitness and availability?
So obviously Ben he'd broke a knuckle in his hand, and it was kind of swollen up like a boxer after a fight. So it was one of the ones that he couldn't play through the pain just until he got the swelling down. Now he's managed to be introduced to training full contact with a bit of kind of strapping and stuff, so he'll be fine. It's just obviously frustrating that he missed the game Saturday. Rhys Armstrong coming back in as well. Luke trained today, no problems after kind of a small niggle in his calf, which again more firepower as well. Thought he's been really good since he's arrived, and was getting kind of better and better each week. So again, there's 3 players kind of off the top of my head. I think the longer term ones, like say Dean McMaster and stuff, progressing really well. Liam McStravick progressing really well. I think it'll be maybe in the next 2 weeks or so you'll have Liam McStravick back in doing his running and his cardio stuff, slowly but surely getting introduced into minimalistic training, and then maybe as the floater non-contact stuff and building him up. Aidan Wilson's the same. Again, he's had his kind of follow-up appointments with the consultant and the surgeon. Everything looks all good, nothing to worry about, progressing well. So it's just making sure that, like we say, we're building him up so that we're not kind of getting him back fit after a period of time out, throwing him into 90 minutes and you have a breakdown again. So we've got to be careful, but at the same time all the lads are progressing well. It's just obviously a frustrating kind of factor that you've got so many just out at the one time. That's it.
Yourself and Dino still a wee bit away?
Aye, again, my one's a kind of different one. I'm trying to get back in kind of training, and I knew it wasn't right, as I said to you, I think it was last week, and again I went for an MRI and confirmed kind of what my gut feeling was, is that there was a kind of ongoing few tears in my calf, which again there's only so much you can grit your teeth and go on with, so I've got to make sure that I'm rehabbing properly. Firstly to the rest of the boys, and secondly to the kind of supporters and the club, you know. If I can't go out and give 100%, then I'm no good to anyone. So frustrating from that level, but at the same time it's one of the ones that you got on with, you know. It's football, you deal with it quickly. There's other things that I can put my focus into just now in terms of helping the team in different ways, and We do that and we'll be fine.
Brilliant, that's great. Thank you, Rhys.
Cheers.